Hello everyone. Good morning if it is morning in your place, or good night, good evening, good day, good Wednesday, good Thursday. Basically, it is a good day today to do some VFX Hangouts. I am Danasa. You probably, if you're subscribed to the Action VFX YouTube channel, then you know me as the guy who's always have my face on all the tutorials. So here I am. And today we are going to talk about space. So space is, I love space. It's one of my favorite things. In fact, I'm wearing a NASA shirt right now just to show how much I love space. And also, I'm talking about space because we have new elements that just came out, new collections on ActionVFX, which is the elements on the space categories. We have Sci-Fi Planets collections, we have solar systems and stars, nebulas, meteors, so many cool things, and we're going to dive into them. And yeah, so we already have some people here. We have Anit. Hello. Thank you for waiting. And we have Sajidul Hassan. Thanks for the tutorial. You are welcome. I'm glad that you enjoyed the tutorial. So if you, speaking of tutorial, if you've seen our channel, I actually have made a tutorial on how to do this this shot. Now we're not going to go into this because again, this is based on a tutorial that I made that you can see right now on the channel. But basically, this shot is a simple VFX shot of using our space elements, and our space elements are very easy to use. Most of these are just very simple drag and drop of all the elements, and there's no like 3D rendering and all of that stuff. And yeah, so other than this, I actually have done some other VFX shots as well. Like for example, this is a shot that I've done, and this is basically based on this shot. Basically, this famous photograph from NASA from the Apollo 11. And as you can see, my shot has a little bit more, spice to it. Because the thing about reality is sometimes real world is not as fantastical as the the movie world, the fictional world. And that's the thing when you're doing VFX. That's one of the first things that you learned is that sometimes just achieving pure realism doesn't really cut it. Sometimes you just want to do some movie realism instead of real realism. So this is one of the shots that I've done using the this space collection, which is the solar systems. And in the solar system, we have a bunch of let's see here. We have a bunch of really cool Earth stuff that you can just really just drag and drop it into your shot, and it's already looking really good. And then so we have the planet Earth for the solar system, and then we have the moon here, and this is like the moon surface that you can put as well, and also just a full moon. And then we have all the other planets as well, like Venus here, Uranus, and Saturn, and all of our space friends here. And then another shot that I'm actually going to show you how to do right now is this shot that you've probably seen on our social media last week. And this is just a very simple, you can do this in like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And this is using the stars and nebulas collection here on the background, and then of course this sci-fi planet here. And Anit is asking where you can use the material. So again, these are elements from our space collection that you can check out on our website, actionvfx.com. You will essentially get access to all of these, and especially now that we are having our end of summer sale, where everything is 25% off. So check those out. And yeah, so On our sci-fi planets, we have a bunch of like really cool planets that you can check out here. Some, fictional planets looking really cool. It's already have like um, the texture of the planet and also like the shadows and everything. And look at that. And then if you're not happy with all these pre-built planet, you can build your own, which is here essentially all the resources, all the ingredients that you need to cook out your planet can be looked at here. We have the shadow, and then we have like the base planets and everything. So yeah, I'm going to show you just how to do like a really super quick planet. For example, let's kind of redo this. And let's see, let's create a new composition here. And for the background, of course, we are going to use our stars and nebulas. Let's see, where is it? There we go. So we have the stars background. Hopefully you can see on the screen here. So we have like all different kinds of stars. We have like super crowded, stars, and we have some that is a little bit less crowded. And then of course we also have like stars with some galaxy in it that you can just put onto your background. So let's see here. So on the original, I'm actually using the nebula for the background. Of course, nebula is similar to the stars, but it has all these cool looking nebulas. And on this shot here, I'm using this one, nebula number 3. But let's try something else. I'm going to try using this one because it looks really cool, like really blue planet. Blue nebula, and it just looks very refreshing. And it looks like like a coral, like a cloud, and it's just really fun to look at. Like it would just like you could even just use this as your computer wallpaper. It's really cool. And let's see, let's add a planet in it. And of course, for the planet, you can just add one of our pre-built planets. So we have different type of names here. We have, let's see. For example, here we have like the close-up as well. So we can put this here and have this. Actually, I want to do something similar to this one, which is the planet doesn't really have like a shadow area, like a really dark, like I think it's called like penumbra or like a umbra, which is an area that is not lit by that is basically like the shadow area of the planet. And the reason is because like in an area like a nebula like this, I imagine that like this nebula is so big and it's kind of like encapsulating like the planet from many different angles, so it's going to lit up like the planet from all different directions. So I'm just going to actually just use one of the base planets on the build your own kit and just drag one of them, for example here, like this one, kind of look like the moon. And we can just put this here. And actually, better yet, I'm actually going to pre-compose this. And let's name this planet. And default attributes. And let's go in. And I'm going to keep this to 1080 by 1080, so it's a square. There we go. So it's just like much nicer, to control. And also, like if we want to switch out the planet, we can just add a different one here, and it's going to get updated. And here I'm going to like add just a little bit of shadow, but not too much. Let's see here, let's look at our shadow. This one looks really good. So let's put this here. And maybe just reduce the opacity just a little bit. And there we go. And of course, we can like add some color. You like add a little bit of tint to make this like fit to the atmosphere of this planet. Sorry, of this like area here. And then let's see here, maybe we can add like adjustment layer, and then we're going to curve, and we're going to like lit up like the blue just a little bit, and then we're going to this. So we have a little bit of more like interaction on our planet. And let's see here. Actually, we could actually use the shadow instead of using it, as a shadow, but using it as a matte for an adjustment layer. So let's get an adjustment layer, and let's get curve, and let's see, let's get blue again. There we go. And then we want this adjustment layer to alpha matte towards the planet shadow. And there we go. Look at that. So now instead of having a shadow, now it has like, this like reflection on the planet. And it looks really nice. So here, and then what you can do, you can add a little bit of atmosphere to the planet. So let's see, here we have here different kind of atmosphere. On the original shot here with the with this one, I actually didn't have any atmosphere because my idea for this is kind of like this planet here called Nuke. I don't know how it's pronounced. I think it's pronounced Nuke. I think it's pronounced Nuke. But essentially, this planet is like a rogue, satellite. So it's not really a planet. It's kind of like a rogue moon that just, on its own and got lost in this really beautiful nebula. So it doesn't have an atmosphere because usually, like moon, they are like their gravitational force is a bit too small, so they don't really like capture a lot of atmosphere. I'm not joking when I say I love space. That's why I know this stuff. Yeah, so here I think I actually want to add a little bit of atmosphere maybe. So let's go back to the planet here and add this atmosphere. Actually, I don't like this one. Let's try maybe this one. Yeah. And maybe let's get even saturation, and I want to change this color here. Make it maybe a little bit of blue, so it's almost like reflecting the color of the environment. And let's see, maybe we can let's change the blending mode, and let's say we want to change this to linear light. Nope, hard light. Overlay screen. Yeah, I think screen looks okay. We can reduce the opacity just a little bit, so it has a little bit of, like shadow and there. And we can even add glow if you want to, really sell this. B instead of original colors, let's go A and B. I don't like this. So let's see if we can use it. Okay. Let's see. Of course, this shot is going to need like a little bit more, extra um polish, because currently it's not blending really well with the background. But let's add some color correction. Anyway, let's just leave this for now. Does the tint work on the outsides and make it way inwards? So the tint, what the tint does here, it's actually just blending. Sorry. Oh, that was the glow effects. I'm talking. Yeah. Mr. Sajidul Hassan, that was the glow effects. So the glow effects is actually one of my favorite one of my favorite effects, and there's so many things you can do in it. And so first we have the glow threshold. Glow threshold. Glow threshold basically controls like which part of which color areas of of the element of the layer that you want to brighten up. That's why when we play around with the settings here, it starts picking up more color. Like it would automatically pick the brightest pixel on your layer here, but like if you play around, it could like encompass like the entire thing if you want. And then you have the glow radius, which is essentially like blurring out those selected pixels and just how big essentially you want the glow. And then you have the glow intensity, which as you can see here, is just increasing the intensity. And then we can like put it, and then we have the composite original on the behind, so the glow is on top, or we can do the composite, the original to be on top, so now the glow is behind. And then we have the glow operations, so you can change the operation of the glow, so you can choose add, you can choose screen maybe, and all the stuff. And then the glow colors currently we are using the original colors of the element. And then if you want to use your own colors, you can choose A and B colors. And here currently the A and B colors is selected as white and black, so now it's glowing white and black color, but we can change this to something else. So like here, red and green, and it's going to have essentially this glow. So yeah, so glow effects, so many things you can do. You can again create an atmosphere. You can create glow effects, glow on like a fire and everything. So yeah, there is so many things you can do. So actually I want to move on from this shot here, and let's try something else. Like for example, like this moon here, I'm going to break this down for you on how I did the shot. So of course from the bottom here, we have the stars background, and it doesn't really have a lot of stars because if you see on my reference here on the this photograph from, I believe, from Apollo 11, you don't see a lot of stars because I believe because of like the exposure of the camera, because the moon is very bright, the Earth is very bright, so the stars, which is a little bit more faded, they're not really like visible on this because like the exposure is really focusing on the planet and the moon. So but here I added the stars anyways, just for like some creative licenses. And here of course we have the planet and the moon, this one again from our solar system collection. So again, our solar system contain assets such as the moon, whether it is like the full moon or like the surface of a moon. And then we have the Earth. Of course, we have like again, different kind of Earth that you can pick. You have nighttime Earth, you have daytime Earth, you have close-up Earth here. So many things. So here I'm using one of the close-up moon here. So it's kind of like as our foreground, and then we are looking out into the big blue marble here. And of course, like I said, on the original, there isn't really anything on the moon. It's very sterile. There isn't really like smoke and everything. But again, because the entire point of using VFX is we want to heighten reality. So I added this lingering fog here from our atmospheric smoke and fog, volume 3 and 2, and basically just add that extra, ominous, moon surface. And yeah, so again, let's start from the back here. We have the stars, we have the blue atmosphere here. So this blue atmosphere is just to add, just to break up the blackness of the background. And because again, on the Earth and the moon, they are glowing really bright, and I want to add, just like a little bit more atmosphere to the shot. And then we have the Earth, which is on the back. And for the Earth itself, again, I'm using glow because originally the Earth is just looking like this, which already looks, very realistic, and just added some glow to really, just make sure that we have some basically like the lighting from the sun kind of get reflected by the Earth. So we have a question here from Mr. KW Jones. Would love some tutorials about making 2D image look real in the background. I'm not good in 3D and would love some advice to apply background. Yes, so you're probably talking about maybe like matte painting or like set extension, maybe someone on a green screen and you put the background on a green screen, or someone looking at a distance, looking at, an empty space, but you're gonna add like a building or something like that. So yeah, that's a really great tutorial idea, Mr. KW Jones. I'm adding that to the list, and of course that's one of the most requested tutorial that we would love to do. And yeah, so let's go back to our beautiful planet Earth. So here I've added some glow. So before the glow, this is just the Earth, where it is essentially just being lit up from the top here by our glorious sun. And again, I added some glow. I set radius and like threshold and radius here to essentially have a little bit of, something like a bloom from the Earth. And here I set the screen instead of the usual add, because I don't want to add that extra brightness from the like extra exposure to it. So essentially, for those who don't know, I actually have a tutorial about this, which is about the blending modes in After Effects. Like I'm talking about like five most used blending modes, and I talked about screen and additive. So essentially, screen and additive are very similar, but not super similar. Like in most cases, they are almost they're almost the same. So like if you're using additive, usually screen and additive is used to remove a black background, because the black background is essentially when you're using add on something that has a black color in it. Like for example, let's see here. For example, let's create a new solid here. Then we're going to get And if we turn our Earth here to add, it would, you know, become a bit more transparent, especially during, especially on the black areas, because what additive does, it's plussing the top image and the bottom image, and the and a black color, dark color, it has essentially has 0 values. So when you plus 0 with the value below it, the value below would go through. But the difference between add and screen is usually in screen you would add more. In add you would add a bit more exposure to the shot. So anyway, let's go back to our Earth, which of course, our Earth you can get on our ActionVFX website right now on our space collections, and especially today is very important because we are approaching the end of our end of summer sale, where everything is 25% off. So again, go to our website, go check out these elements, especially this element just came out and it's already has a discount on it. So again, go to actionvfx.com and purchase all these fancy space elements. So yeah, so here we have another question here. Sajidul Hassan. Is there any website that has centralized knowledge of After Effects effects? What each of the effects does? I can not, at least not the official one. Again, I mean, like, we're living on the edge of the internet, so there are a lot of resources. I usually just play around with the effects by myself, just to look at it, and especially like for the effects, you can go to like the After Effects like website and documentations. They have basically explain all the different like elements and stuff. Like they have literally like each of effects, they have like explanation for them and like how to use them, how each of the how each of the settings work and stuff like that. So those the After Effects has a very great documentations. And also, we have a bunch of tutorials on our channel that looks at many different effects on After Effects and other websites, other software like Nuke and Fusion. So subscribe. That's very smooth. Good job, Danasa. That's a very smooth way to promote the channel and the tutorial. And again, hey, yeah. Oh, thank you, Sajidul Hassan, Mr. Hassan here, being very nice to us. Thank you so much. We actually have a tutorial come out next week, so stay subscribed. Anyway, let's go back to our Earth again. And so we have our Earth, and we added glow, and then I added a little bit of atmosphere here. So if you look at the atmosphere alone, this is what we have. Essentially, just to add a little bit of that extra mantle, extra layer on the Earth. And then after that, we added the moon. The moon. So on the moon, what I did here, so let's disable all the effects. So this is the original moon element that we have, which is this close up of the surface of the moon. And then I added some curve to add a little bit more contrast to like the moon to the shot, to basically like signal to essentially showcase that we have like a very bright direct light here, like from the Earth. And then I added some extra glow to the moon here, so kind of to showcase like a little bit of like gloom coming out, because like the moon is very bright, because the moon is very reflective, so it's very bright, so it's going to have a little bit of like gloom, at least according to me. Again, we're heightening reality here. And then I added a little bit of tint where I changed the white here to like low blue. Like a light blue. And basically, what I'm trying to do is to almost like uh, making it look like the Earth, the blueness of the Earth is reflected on the moon. So yeah, so there's that, and then I added this extra layer of the moon here. So this is actually like the surface of the moon. I don't know if you notice that I have rotoed, and then I just like brighten it up, add some glow here, add some tint. Although I ended up fast blurring it anyway, so I don't really need these two. And then just brighten it up again. And this basically just to add an additional gloom into the moon. That rhymes. So yeah, basically just to really showcase how bright and reflective the moon is. And of course we have the camera, the 3D camera, because I set all these layers on 3D space. And then we have this atmosphere, which is from lingering fog here, from our atmospheric fog collection. And here I just set it to screen, just a very simple screen. And I also add a little bit of tint, and essentially a trick, just a really quick trick on if you want to like blend your smoke into an area, especially if the smoke is supposed to be, you know, coming out from like the ground. What you want to do is you want to add tint, and then for the white color, you want to pick the color of the ground. So that's kind of what I did here. I just picked the color of the moon, so now it blends better with the moon. So now it's look like the fog is it's like a dust kicking off, you know, the surface of the moon. And then we add another fog here on the side, and then I added another fog. This time the fog air is a little bit like bigger and a bit more like subtle, just to add more atmosphere into everything. And then I add an adjustment layer that really, you know, pushed everything. So the adjustment layer here, what I did is I just added a lumetri color, added some LUT to really, you know, push the contrast, push the blueness of it. And then let's see here. And then I added glow to everything. So after I added glow to the moon, and then added the glow to the earth by themselves. I also added like an overall glow to basically like brighten everything, and just to add more that extra, you know, cinematic bloom into the shot. So that's just it. And for the shot, and this shot is of course is being set up in 3D space, and there's nothing fancy. This is all just a 3D cards. So if we go to the top view here, you can see that all the, you know, all the assets being set in just a normal, you know, like normal stack. Here we have the earth here in the middle being sandwiched by the stars, and then the moon. And because the camera movement here just a simple, you know, just a simple dolly in, so it doesn't, we didn't really need like a bunch of like basically the parallax will not be super, you know, extreme, that we have to, you know, do some very fancy like camera projections and everything like that. So yeah, and actually that reminds me, I'm also going to show you about this is actually a tips that I talked about on my tutorial, but I'm going to show you here. So let's go back to here, and let's set our unfinished elements here into 3D space, and let's go to the top, and I want to set this, oops, sorry. Oh yeah, No, that's right. So the nebula is the background, so I want to set this really far, and I want to set the moon here. Sorry, the planet, the planet moon here, and there we go. Let's create a new camera. Boom. So now that the nebula here far away, let's scale it back up, and scale it back up. There we go. And then let's get orbit around camera here, and we can play around with our camera. Let's change this to, let's see, bit around scene. Camera. So essentially, you can like play around with the movement of the camera. You can hear I'm doing like a nodal and just nodal pan, just looking around. And one thing that happens when you have like a 3D card, 3D layer, is when you move your camera, essentially like the 2D-ness, the flatness of your card, of your layer is, is visible because it's just a simple 2D layer. So if you move and some parallax happens, it would be very visible to see that it's just like a 2D card that's floating in space. But there's actually one way to essentially fake that, which is by using auto orient. So let's select our nebula, our planet here. So our planet is looking very visibly. It looks like it looks squished because we're looking at it from another angle, and it's not actually a sphere, it's a 2D layer. So let's fix that. Let's right click, transform, and we are going to, let's see here, auto orient. So what we can do is, so auto orient is currently set as off, and then you can orient long path. So orient long path means that if you have like a path where the layer follows through, like a motion path, the layer would basically look at the direction of the path, and we don't want that. We want orient towards the camera, which is now wherever the camera is, our planet will always be looking at us. And so all eyes on camera. There we go. So now when we move around our camera like before, the planet will always be looking. And if we, let's see here, if we look at, so let's have double view here, and here we have our planet. So let's push this back here, and if we play around with our camera on this side, you see how the orientation of the planet follows with the camera. So that's a super cool tip that you can do, which is using orient towards camera to make sure that your 2D layer, basically when you're doing a 3D scene, you don't accidentally like reveal your 2D layer. All right, so we have a question from Carrot Survivor. So I hope you survived whatever. Carrot, I love Carrot. And you're trying to learn Nuke. That's awesome. So Nuke and After Effects, they are like softwares, they're tools, and I personally don't believe that there's like one tool that is better than the other. I think like each tools have their own purposes, have their own like pros and cons, and it's really based on the project, based on how you're going to use it, and like the kind of the kind of like workflow that you prefer and all of that. So for Nuke and After Effects, the difference between them, the major difference is that After Effects is a layer-based compositing. So which means when you're doing a compositing, so in After Effects, when you're doing compositing, you're doing again a layer-based compositing. So what you're doing is if you want to put like an image on top of another image, you want to put one image at the bottom and then just layer another image on top. So that's a layer-based compositing. It's very straightforward, and again, something that, especially if you're just getting started with VFX and even like image editing, because this is basically like a workflow that Photoshop uses as well. So it's very easy to understand that, oh, if you want to add a fire on top of a background, you put the background first and then put the fire on top, just like layering, papers. Whereas Nuke is a node-based compositing, so it's a bit more robust. They're not doing layering; they are more of doing essentially like sequences of commands. We actually have a beginner tutorial for Nuke that you can check out. So if you go to our YouTube channel, we have an intro to Nuke. So if you want to learn Nuke, Mr. Carrot Survivor, you can check out our tutorial. And we're really like that beginner tutorial really goes into getting started on how to use Nuke and how it works. And then after that, we have another tutorial called sky replacement, Nuke sky replacement tutorial. So that sky replacement tutorial is basically your first VFX project. So after you learn Nuke from our intro tutorial, and then you want to start applying all those information and techniques that you just learned about Nuke and how to apply it in a real time, in a real quote unquote real projects in a real shot. You want to check out the sky replacement tutorial, because I really went into like how motion tracking works in Nuke, how rotoscoping works, which we actually also have a rotoscoping tutorial in Nuke that you can check out. So and then how to do color correction in Nuke and stuff like that. But essentially, I love both. I love After Effects. I love Nuke. Both of them are my friends. I love them, and I also love Fusion. That's also a software that is node based. So yeah, just try it out. And here we have, of course, we have posted the link to all the Nuke tutorials that you can check out. We have also TOZX production. My After Effects keeps lagging a lot, and I can see the preview when I do big projects what I should upgrade. Ooh, that's a big question, because again, it really depends on your computer, but graphic cards can be something that you upgrade. And essentially, like After Effects, again, like when you're doing like big VFX stuff, you're gonna need a computer that really designed to showcase graphics and stuff like that. But yeah, just a lot of like resources on the internet for like the type of like what kind of computer based best for After Effects and visual effects and stuff like that. And yeah, let's see. Let's go back to doing some VFX shot. So another shot that I'm going to showcase to you is this. So this is a shot from the plate is from filmpack.com, and this is just a shot of a lady just looking up into the sky, and there isn't really nothing on the sky. Well, the lady is probably looking at this tower, this cool looking tower, but but let's make her looking at something on the sky. Yeah. And to do that, if we want to put something on the sky, we want to track the sky. So how do we track the sky? We can't, because there isn't anything on the sky that we can track, because when you're doing 2D tracking, you want to pick a pixel or an area that you want to grab, and then you want to follow, but there isn't really anything here to track. So what you can do is to do a 3D camera tracker. So 3D camera tracker is essentially Nuke. After Effects is analyzing uh, analyzing basically the shot and how camera tracking works. 3D camera tracking works is they essentially they analyze all the colors, like the pixels on this area, and how the pixels on this area move in relation to the pixels on this area and to the pixels on this area. So based on like how each of those pixels move on different depth, After Effects basically try to triangulate all those different movement, or like the parallax, the word is, when you have like how object moves differently far away, like when you're looking at the side of the car when you're driving and you see the mountains on the far back is moving slower than the trees that is closer to you. That's called a parallax. And essentially that's what 3D tracking is. They record all the different pixels and how they move with different parallax, and from that After Effects decide, or the software decide, how the camera movement was probably like when you shot this. So from the camera tracker here, I use the solve method of typical, and I'm able to get this look here, this really fancy track from all, like, look at all those different points sticking into the plate. And from here, what we can do is we can generate a camera. So first I want to create a solid. So by creating a solid, what I want to do is to just set like an object in 3D space that is, tracked into the scene. So here I'm going to take this surface here and create solid and camera. And we have our solid, but our solid here is super small. That is fine. Let's scale it up so we can see our solid here, and we can see that we have a really good track. There is no, jittery and everything like that. So awesome. So now what we can do is we can add our planet. So I want to make this person here to look at some like a distant planet, maybe it could be like a planet from our solar system, but because we have Sci-Fi Planets here, let's select one of the pre-built planets, and let's see here, let's pick and let's see. Ooh, this Batu planet. So I'm from Indonesia, and Batu basically means rock. So that's super cool. And what we want to do is we want to turn this into a 3D layer. And where is it? Oh, there we go. So when we turn this layer into a 3D, now that this layer is on 3D space, we can then position it to the scene. And of course, again, this planet is from our space collections for those just joining in, and you can create these space planets, these space collections, which is our Sci-Fi Planets, the solar systems, and everything. You can get them on our website for those who just joining in. You can check out on our website, and especially today, very special day, the end of summer sale, everything is 25% off. So go to our website right now and purchase all these assets, especially the space elements just came out, and they just came out and they already have a discount on them. So this is just, you want to get them before the discount ends. Anyway, let's go back to our planet, our shot here, and here we see that the our planet is sticking to the shot, but it's on the wrong depth. Now it looks like the planet is on the same depth as our person here, our character, which we don't want. So what we can do is we want to make this a little bit more far away. So let's start off. Well, there isn't really like like a point here that we can take from the sky. And and also Mr. Hassan here, Sajidul Hassan, asked about the mocha. So the mocha, I would originally use this just to get like a mask uh, for this tower here. So I actually didn't use this to do the track. So that's your answer, just to get a mask, because if I want to put an element here, and if the element is behind the tower work, I'm going to need a mask. So that's what I use the mocha for. And then, so what I want to do is I want to copy the position of the track solid and paste it. There we go. So now our planet is on the same position as our solid here, and our planet is looking really small because now it's really far away. So let's scale this up, and actually let's push this a little bit more, even more, because this planet is supposed to be super far away, like really far away. And then let's scale it up again. Actually, let's just use a number here. We need more, so let's go with 9. There we go. Okay, that's too big. Now it's looking like the planet is trying to hit towards us. And there we go. So Mr. 2ZX Production, save this stream, please don't delete it. Nope, I will not delete. We will not delete, so you will be able to see this after the stream is over. So do not worry. And let's put this here. And then what I want to do, so now the planet is already like tracking really well into the shot. So then what we can do is turn this into screen. Boom. So now the planet is on the basically on the end side of the planet. Sorry, on it's now like really far away and looks really blending into the shot. And the reason why I'm using screen is because I just want to remove the black, the black area of the shot. So when you have like a shot, when you have like like a planets or something that is really far away, that is beyond the sky, you don't want to look. You don't want to have essentially like a black color on it, because black color is an absence of light. So essentially, like those black colors would be covered up by the blueness of the sky, essentially. And so that's what's happened with this planet. And I just want to remove all the blacks into the from the layer. So now it's blending more. So it's now looks like it is behind the sky. And the reason why I'm using screen instead of add is because if I'm using add, this is something that I've explained earlier. If I am using add, it would just essentially add is just adding, the layer, the values of the layer. So again, because the our planet here has a black areas, and the black areas, as you can see on the info here on the right side of the screen, the black color is 0. That's what black pixel is. Black pixel is. It doesn't have any values. So when you add, the values of the blue will come through, because the blue color, so blue plus 0 is blue, x plus 0 is x. So the blue color comes through, whereas the areas that is not black, like this, our surface of the planets, We can like add some screen here, and sorry, I was add some add the add, and basically the color adds adds the value of the planet adds to the background, so it's becoming brighter. So whereas if I'm using screen, the thing about screen is that it kind of does the same thing where the black colors comes through. If you have a black color, the color on the background comes through. But screen would make sure that you're not, making things a bit more brighter. Just on the areas that is already bright, you want to make sure that it doesn't, like just do a simple add. There's like its own like mathematical equations behind it, where essentially it just removes like black color. And yeah, so let's see here. Oh, so OCH Production says that to add some birds, but I actually have something that is better than birds. Better than birds. No, it's not a dinosaur. It's actually something that killed the dinosaur, which is a meteor. So we have Meteor asset. We have a bunch of them. We have this meteor here, and we have all other meteors from different direction. So yeah, so we can just add this meteor on our scene here. So we can just, let's turn this into 3D. Oh, where is it? Oh, there it is. That's the meteor. So we can just push this here. Again, this meteor is also part of our collections that we have on our ActionVFX.com. So it's also, 25% off on the website. So if you want to, destroy some planets, destroy some civilization, destroy some dinosaur, get our meteor, because meteor is super cool. So let's see here. Let's push this really far, and let's see where is. Oh, there it is. And let's copy the position here. Let's see. Let's copy the position, and then so Sajidulu, you want the planet to hit the tower. That can be its own tutorial. So that's a really great idea. Thank you for mentioning that. But yeah, if you're doing like an explosion, if you're doing like a meteor hitting the tower, it's going to have some of the parts of the tower blown up, and we're going to have like add some explosions on this, and that can be its own tutorial. So yeah, I hear you. So you want the meteor to hit the tower, but we're going to do that on a different tutorial. So for now, I'm just going to have the meteor here to just fly on the background, and maybe just put this here or here. There we go. So it actually needs to be a little bit more far away. Okay, and then we can tint, and I want to set the white to the blue of the background and set this to like 0.5%. So it has a little bit of that blue tint of the sky, but not a lot. and then camera lens blur. There we go. So now we want to put the meteor behind the tower, and you can do like a roto here, especially like you can do roto, or you can do like a simple key. If you have like this area here where we can see like the tower has more or less like the same brightness as the sky, when you pull out a key, this area would get key out also. So you want to do roto. That's why I did the emote earlier. But since the meteor, I'm going to just set this meteor to hit to go behind this area. I think we can just pull simple Luma key and basically like isolate the tower and put it on top. So let's put this on top here. I basically just duplicate the plate and put it on top. And to do a luminance keying, we can go with extract. So by using extract, let's delete all the effects here. By using extract, what we can do is we can push the black point here, and we can, okay, so we have the key out here, but it's the other way around. Instead of like preserving the tower and our lady here, instead it's just it's keeping the sky. So we want to invert. There we go. So now what extract does, as you can see, it just kills all the bright areas of the shot. And here let's add some softness, and as I mentioned earlier, because the tower has some bright areas that is similar to the sky, this area would get keyed out as well. So you want to roto this manually, but since we only have the meteor here hitting on this area, we can just do a simple extract. We could even like reduce. Ooh, that's actually pretty nice. We can just reduce the amount of the key to have some of the blueness of the sky to really cover our meteor. And there we go. So we have our meteor. And that's it, guys. That was VFX Hangouts on space. Once again, this space collections that we have Sci-Fi Planets, we have solar systems, we have stars and nebulas, and we have meteors. They are available right now on the website, and especially today because we have our end of summer sale. And one last question from Sajidul Hassan here. What is the extract for? It's to key out the bright areas, to do luminance keying, essentially, just to key out the brightness, the bright area, so I can remove the sky and keep the tower. And yeah, that's it. And thank you guys for being with me and just filling this night, because it's night where I'm from, and you guys are super awesome. And let's see you on the next tutorial or VFX Hangouts live stream. So this is Danasa. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.